There's a profound line between life and death, but sometimes the line becomes blurred. If there was ever one person who could attest to such a statement, it would be Cristina Lopez, a pharmacist and former triathlon competitor who at the age of 41 survived a horrific auto cyclist accident. Before said accident, she lived a very active life.
I used to do half marathons and marathons. I went through foot surgery, so I said, no, I better lay off my feet. So I tried to just started doing triathlons because it's less mileage.
She was an incredible athlete.
Oh yeah.
She wasn't like a professional athlete, but she was able to swim, run, everything that was asked of her through these triathlons.
On February 8th of 2015, Christina and two fellow cyclists were training on an early Sunday morning ride in Pharr, Texas. They had taken all the safety precautions needed. As an extra precaution, the husband of one of the cyclists drove his truck next to them with his hazards on as they rode in the bike lane. That morning, a 20-year-old drunk driver veered his van into the bike lane and struck all three cyclists.
Today, the driver accused of hitting three cyclists in Pharr is expected to go before a judge. The accident happened on Jackson Road, just north of 495 Sunday. The driver sped off after hitting the trio. DPS troopers later caught the man in San Juan. Two of the cyclists continue to recover at home. A third remains hospitalized in critical condition.
Out of the three cyclists, Christina sustained the most critical injuries. She arrived at STHS McAllen Hospital with numerous broken bones, internal bleeding, and a severe concussion. Christina was placed on life support and would remain in a medically induced coma for the next 2 weeks. When she awoke, she had little memory of who she was or how she got there. Despite her memory loss at the time, Christina was able to recognize two people, her father and her good friend Sonia Gonzalez.
I was in shock because at this stage, Christina was in bed and they had strapped her arms and legs down. And I had learned that the reason why she was shaking and trembling and jerking everywhere was because her nerves were trying to heal and reawaken.
Christina was later transferred to the Texas Neuro Rehab Center in South Austin, where she began several months of intensive therapy. She had to relearn many basic functions, such as walking, reading, and writing. Within a couple of months, she managed to recall most of her long-term memory, including her pharmaceutical knowledge.
I would have speech therapy, mobility therapy. I had to swim. I had to try to walk. I would have to do a lot of things, a lot of different therapies.
She had to learn to talk again. She had to learn to hold a spoon again. She had to learn to feed herself again.
These are 30. They're for pain and inflammation. People use them for pain, arthritis. Oh, that's a go, huh?
Christina went through a grueling journey of recovery. She has since gone back to work as a pharmacist, getting back on her feet both literally and figuratively. Her fight for her life and her tenacity have made all the difference.
Christina is the type of person that cherishes her victories.
This minuscule amount of life, she was able to take that and just keep improving, almost like centimeter by centimeter.
Those were victories that she definitely cherished and helped her get through the recovery phase.
I also thought about how her grit as a triathlete came in very handy as she tried to fight to recover, that persistency to not give up. I think that will impressed me the most about Christina.
Despite all her physical and neurological struggles, Cristina Lopez hopes to compete in a sporting event once again. The lasting effects of her injuries may hinder her goals, but she continues to work hard every day. More than anything, Christina has learned to be patient and to give herself time.
I walk weird, I talk weird, and have a real ugly scar on my neck, and on my back I have a very long scar with like 2 pins and 8 screws. But I'm alive, so I'm trying. I'm trying to get better because I really, really want to run again. I mean, of course, it won't be that mileage, but even if it's 1 mile, that would be great.